Make sure you show that though. That's gangster.
Oh, the inside.
Yeah.
Ain't it?
Baltimore with love.
Oh yeah.
How you feeling? You
Good,
straight?
man. Good,
You
bro.
alive? Oh
There we go.
shit! God damn! Y'all motherfuckers know what time it is. We on the third goddamn show.
That was the
and
start.
I'm on with a legend from the
Hey,
city.
yo, I know you started the show like that.
That's how we get lit in this
Hey,
bitch.
shit, I thought that was your own personal thing. Like some people pray. You feel me? I thought.
Man, let me tell you something.
Whoa.
It keeps me up too.
Yes,
If I
sir.
think I'm tired, I wake myself up.
I'm scared. I just don't know it yet.
You just
Oh,
saw your
man.
brother float to be like, fam, I'm about to steal on you.
Ah.
So thank you for being calm. Thank
No
you for
problem.
being
I
composed.
wasn't calm, bro. I'm delayed. You know? Like I'm afraid right now. So I just you
Look,
know,
Greenspan was over. He looked at me like,
yeah, Greenspan from the street. Don't play. You gotta. All right,
you
cool.
got, all right, trigger warning. I'll start doing.
Wow.
I got to find a way to trigger warning in the
Yikes.
future.
I'm glad I ain't.
I'm glad you ain't either, brother. Let's talk. We can touch on that a little bit too as well.
Yes, sir.
We got Big Fred the comedian on. Let's give you a hand clap. Thank you so much for coming on, brother.
Thank you. I was clapping at home.
Listen, so I have been aware of you for a while. Social media being what it is, you come across people sometimes before you meet them, before you
Okay.
even know what they do. You just see them.
Okay.
So you're following certain people, you're in certain industries or things, and you're like, I keep seeing the same motherfucker.
Yeah.
I keep seeing him for this.
Okay.
And then you realize as you dig a little deeper, it's not just what I'm the comedian, but like he's giving back to the community. He got other things he's like spider webbing into.
That's what's up.
So we want to touch on all that, right? But what I want to bring you on, definitely talk about like stand-up comedy, the art of making people laugh and feel good.
Oh man, that's dope because that's where it's at, bro. That's really what everything's surrounded by. Just putting those vibes out there, wanting to make people feel good, make people laugh, hot, like scared people, like all that weird stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and that's why we here. We just blessed to be able to kind of merge it around to other areas of like business and opportunity. You know, so
I rolled up. So I never met you in person until we went to PV Studios.
yeah, that was a smooth event.
That was dope. We shout out Logan, James,
Yeah.
the entire crew over there. Please excuse me for not remembering everyone's names at this moment. But these events are important, especially for a market like this one, a small market. We gotta understand the quicker we get to all working with each other to push an agenda and not being on this is mine, this is your shit.
Right,
it
right.
works out. So I see you.
Thank you.
And I'm a type of person. If I see you and fuck with you, if I like your post, if I comment,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna shell up when I see you.
Right.
I fuck with you in real. Hey,
Ain't
my
that
name is
weird,
Nick.
man? When somebody got a whole relationship they built with you,
Like
on,
all
on
your
social
shit,
media.
DM you like it. Then when
And
they
then-
see you in person, it's like
Yeah, exactly. That's weird.
I
bro.
saw you. I said, "Oh no, fam, I'm gonna talk to you."
Yeah.
And then I have a platform in which I sit down and talk to dope people.
Which is dope itself.
Thank you,
Clap
brother.
it up for that.
Thank
real
you. I
quick, one
appreciate it.
time.
Now safe your
Got
ears.
you. Yep.
And I said, "We gotta get you on the show, bro."
Yeah.
And you humbly obliged, and we worked it out, and you're here today.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. This is my I don't know what happened this week, but just out the blue, I got a couple calls right after you, man. You're a trendsetter. That's what it is, bro.
Okay.
Because after you reached out and we scheduled this, 2 more people reached out and wanted to schedule something before you. You know, I don't know like what goes on in the radio world, podcast world, bro. But you know, I did take the interviews, and all of them was in this like area right here. I wish I would have knew that in advance, because each time I came from East Baltimore.
Okay.
So each time is like I'm looking at the joint, you know, I'm doing that whole little subconscious time. You know, we just assume everything is like downtown. And every time I got the address, I'm like, damn, like why didn't I exit every single time? Yo,
We
then,
in Pennsylvania.
You know, you got people that say like they always brag like, yo, I only make the same mistake once, so fool me once, shame on you. This happened to me 3 times in a row this week. Yo, I'm like, all right, about 30 minutes. Damn, each time, bro. So, you know, I just thank you for your patience.
Oh,
You know,
come on, man.
we here, and you know, it's a pleasure to be here. I love what you're doing for the Baltimore County out.
Listen, I'm trying to rep for Baltimore County, baby. Northwest,
Yeah,
baby. Ain't
795, you
rep for us.
feel me?
They couldn't that loop out there.
there.
Yeah, man, that's funny. Listen, with building this platform, sometimes you got to go through those mistakes. So we've had people come in with like 15, 20 people. And I'm like, fuck, I don't tell people not to bring their whole damn
Ooh.
family. So sometimes you got to get hit with it a couple times. Like, all right, let me make sure I ask where the fuck this is.
Right,
You know.
right. Now you got childcare.
Yeah, right. We got child. Look, my wife's like, no, we don't got child care. You better tell them motherfuckers if they bring their baby better shut up and they better watch them. No disrespect for anybody who's brought their baby in the past, but yeah, that shit ain't cool.
Somebody baby would have cried when you started the show.
As a motherfucker. They've done it before. Or just walk in and like, where's my daddy? I'm like, well, you know, we didn't put that in place, so we can't get mad at it.
Yeah. Your answer for everything gotta be that yo. that would just make a baby run away like that.
Get the fuck out of here. Stand-up comedy. So it seems like with my brief interaction with you, you're a funny guy. I've seen some clips. I get the energy out there. Have you? I was short. I'm still short.
Okay.
I had a whole bunch of curly hair. So usually the curly hair motherfucker, everybody wants to smoke with her.
Curly and nappy.
It was like Native American curly, like Jerry curly.
Nice guy curly too, man.
The nice guy shit. They gonna want to test the nice guy.
I got you.
Right? So I had to always be funny because you can't fight everybody.
Right.
You can fight you getting banked every goddamn weekend, right?
Yeah.
How far does being funny go back for your ass?
Yo, being funny goes back to not as far as never shutting up. So that was me first. Like I just talked too much. I don't even know if it was funny. Like I just would never shut up. Like yo, shut up, yo. Like shut up. Like Fred talked too much. Like I was a dude that would get into like my friends would tell me shut up. It's one thing when you talking to your friends in school,
right? And
they want to hear what you saying, and you get in trouble. That's one thing. But it's another thing when your friends don't want to hear you, and the teacher wants you shut the hell up. Everybody just wants you shut the fuck up. So that's what happened to me. I think I got funny when I found out that I could get my point across that way. Like people wanted to hear me out if I was making them laugh opposed to me just rambling and shit, just talking. So that was one. And then, you know, that validation that we seek in schools, and that's one of the reasons we had an anti-bullying program now, where we put comedy in the schools, is just that was another thing. Like I just wanted to be funny and kind of pack people up and make the cool kids laugh so I could be accepted. And you know, that was my vibe for a while. Luckily, some of the people that I chose to make the most jokes about wound up becoming some of my coolest, you know, just like fondest memories with people, dare I say friends, you know, now that I'm adult. So that's cool too.
That's dope. What you just said resonated with me deeply because when I was young, like my parents, Section 8. I'm Section 8, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
too.
My mother and father were both on drugs.
Okay.
That good old cocaine and mixed down with some other shit, stepped on and flipped.
Some other shit?
Yeah, you know how it is. The cheap man, the poor man version. So
yeah,
I ain't never had the new Jordans. I never had the cleanest white tee. My shit was always washed 2 or 3 times.
Right,
you know how it start turning yellow when the bleach and shit don't.
Right.
So I had to be like I was cool because I was just me and that's just the way it was. But I wasn't cool for like having the freshest gear and shit. So I had found myself a lot of times, instead of making enemies with them motherfuckers or allowing them to make me feel bad, I would crack first. But my method in which cracking on them was never enough that they wanted to punch me, but enough like, yo, little Nick funny, yo.
Yeah,
so we gonna let you, even though you wore them same goddamn shoes, them same Air Force Ones, they ugly now.
Right.
Did you use that? You were talking about the cool kids. Did you use comedy like that?
Because I could do that with the older kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could do that with the older kids because I never was in my mind I was never like made to hang with them, right? So when that was just deflecting them trying to bully me, you know what I mean? That was just me kind of like proving that, you know, I'm good and I ain't going, you know, I ain't no chump, you know. But with the kids my age, it wasn't always easy to do that because I really wanted to be like accepted. You know what I mean? Like I ain't want them to be my enemy. Like I ain't want to pack them up and they ain't like me no. Like I just really was seeking acceptance. Now for the older kids though, which is crazy because that's what some kids want to be accepted with the older kids. You know, I didn't care about being accepted by them. I'm walking around, like I'm packing everybody. Yeah, I get my cousin. Like I was big, get my cousins if they had a problem with. But with the kids my age, it was just so kind of tough to do, you know. Like I was the type that when some people would get mad when you pack and want to fight, like I would get just really sad and like just beat myself up type shit. Like it just wasn't good, man. Yeah, and I'm telling y'all, yo, when you look at Lil Laughs, what we do in the schools, that's a direct reflection of not just my life, but a lot of the comedians and other volunteers that I'm learning had like a lot of the same struggles when they were growing up.
That's dope. So a lot of times with our gifts, right? You being a man of God, which we're gonna touch on. We use our gifts for our own reasons, right? You want things, you want popularity, whatever. And you took what worked for you and said, let me find a way to give it back to maybe help another person going through what I'm going through. And a lot of times what we're dealing with, especially within our community, depression and suicide, right? Something that's not always talked about. Yeah. Be tough, suck it up. So with Lil Laughs, right? Am I pronouncing that right, Lil Laughs?
Yeah, Lil Laughs.
Yeah, cool.
Like your little brother.
Right.
Yeah.
Was that, have you seen that work? Has someone confided in you and said, man, look, I was on the edge, or I felt like I had nowhere else to go, and you come in there and allow me to express myself through another way? Like, how is you doing this help?
Absolutely, man. I mean, yo,
Cause that's dope, man.
kids in Baltimore City, they waiting to talk. You know what I mean? They talking now, but they definitely waiting to just continue to just express themselves and have some people that they can relate to, that really that they can trust. They look into that, like all of them, like everywhere. Like it's not enough for just one person or one program, one group of people to be able to really cover it. It's going to take like a citywide community effort, you know, like a generational effort, and to really shift that culture that way of spreading love. But so to be honest, like you know how something could flood, right? And to prevent that, you know, you got like a levee, but then if the levee break, it like flood. Like, so your question is, have anyone ever communicated that to us? What I'm communicating it to you is literally like a levee that could break at any moment of that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like they that's all they want to do. You know what I mean? I mean, now you have some young men and young women, of course, that just from some trauma, they don't even know how to communicate it. Then you have some young men and young women that do grow up and feel like it's emotional if they communicate and they can't. But for the most part, man, like the strong majority of these kids, they looking for somebody to holler at.
Just talk to.
Yeah, man. So that levee is about to break for anyone that's out here genuinely working with kids, because the moment they sense trust, it's like, whoa, like, oh, I trust you, shorty. Like, oh, they want to give you everything, you know. So and that's been a learning experience for me, because you still just pursuing your goals. A lot of people that chasing, you know, like fame and or just like actualization, you know what I mean? Like just chasing a foundation for their families. They're not bad people if they're not in the community or like in the schools. Oftentimes, I mean, it's life, you know what I mean? It's a reality shift for them and their families. Yeah. So one of the other things we doing with this is just trying to make that pipeline a little bit more, you know, fluent for people to be able to tap in, that otherwise it might be a little bit more difficult to find a lane to be able to go into a school or to do comedy in the school or something like that. Like we got a comedy program now. So yeah, man, that's basically what it is, yo.
That's dope. Comedy program. So you teaching some of the students, the kids, how to become maybe one day a stand-up comedian?
Yeah, well, it's anti-bullying. So we teaching them it's just confidence through comedy, like confidence, de-escalation methods,
Confidence
like
through comedy.
reconciliation skills, public speaking. And then it does go into comedy, like improv, the history of comedy, like stand-up, creative writing and stuff like that.
That's dope.
So it's dope, man. And it started with just a intention to want to empower youth. Boom. Then it was like, you know, just going back to our life. Yo, I was bully shit. All right, boom, bully. We going to address bullying. Then we started kind of moving, just going into schools, and it was like, wait a minute, we'd die broke doing this, bro. We got to find out how to make this a business. So, you know, without going back to school or anything like that, just on the move. I personally had just got off the Oxygen show, Last Squad Standing, and I felt like,
I didn't know you was on there.
Oh hell yeah,
dope.
We was on there. We won the shit. Shout out to everybody. They know.
Was that the season that Stars was on there too?
Yeah, that was the only season that Oxygen sold the network.
Shit, I didn't know you was on there.
Yeah, man, Stars and I, we used the two guys.
Y'all was in that
check
motherfucking
back, man. We got
geeking.
some good spots too. We got some good clips. You know what I mean? Even
I'm gonna go watch it earlier. Okay.
Especially if you've never seen it. But yeah, man. So I just felt like God directed me that way. So we started working on the program, and we've been blessed with some good opportunities that allow us to keep building the foundation and learning what we're doing. But yeah, yo, like niggas from Orleans and Carlton, Mervo to Morgan, broke my neck. You know, I started comedy at the breaking my neck, and somehow,
like literally breaking your neck.
Yeah, I broke my neck like on homecoming day. Broke my neck. She was crazy. And now, you know, just fast forwarding all these things, TVs and all these different variations of life via this vehicle, which is comedy. Right now, one of our major focuses is building this business to empower youth and also, you know, adults as well.
That's dope. I feel like when it's like you were saying, man, just because someone's out there and they're grinding and their purpose might not be like philanthropy, right? It doesn't mean that necessarily they're bad people. Right. But when you do have that underlining theme of like, no, I'm trying to give back. I want to, if today is my last second, if we leave here and neither one of us are going to live after this, you can almost sleep forever, eternally knowing like, fuck, I helped hopefully change somebody's life for the better. And maybe created another me through those actions that can keep it going. And that's a good feeling to have.
That's a fact. It's a scary way you said that too, bro.
It's real though, right?
Oh man,
we assume
we leave and never see each other. I just watched the Candyman trailer, bro. You gotta chill,
show. That was good, right?
Oh,
we ain't doing none of that though.
We
ain't doing no mirrors. But you know, not to make it turn into a negative thing, but we recently lost a sports figure, right? Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, and all the other
Absolutely. Rest
people
in
on
peace,
there
Kobe
who
Bryant,
are no longer
GG.
with us. And it was somebody who said, man, they woke up that morning with plans for that evening, and you go to sleep that night with plans for the morning. So sometimes when I'm doing this, I don't want to feel like I'm clout chasing. I want to feel like I'm going. I'm like, damn, what am I doing that if tomorrow I couldn't do it anymore, it would be worth it. So
Right,
when I
right.
had people on like you who
Yeah.
talk about not just being ha funny,
Right.
like, no, this is my lifestyle. This is what I went through, and this is how I'm trying to change the world.
Yeah.
That's some dope shit. And
Thanks,
I think
bro.
it makes it a little easier to do it when it's you're not getting paid, when it's you tired, when you
Yeah.
you was in East Baltimore, you thought you had to go to right down the
Yeah,
street, and
yeah,
you got to go to
yeah.
Randallstown.
Yeah,
It makes it a little easier to knowing that maybe this may do that, which may help somebody
Yeah,
else.
absolutely, bro. And I mean, you gotta put the platform together. Like all of us got something that only we can feel that we called to do in a lot of ways, and it's really up to us, and that's our personal obligation. So sometimes it's simple stuff like texting somebody, calling somebody phone, giving them some encouragement. Sometimes it's going to schools and hyping kids up so much you don't have no voice on Sunday when you do your radio show. You know what I mean? On the couch.
right.
You know what I mean? And it's just all different things, but and sometimes it's major, like dedicating your life to a thing or someone, or cause. But it's a multitude of them, and they exist. And the more we able to hear them out, and the more discipline we able to like respond to them, I think that kind of helps us a lot. Cause it ain't gonna go nowhere.
It's not.
So
I like it. Stand-up comedy.
yeah.
So, how long you been doing it?
I started doing comedy in 2000. I started doing stand up in 2013.
Okay.
So what's that? 7 years? God, man. So 7
Time
years.
flies.
God, man, 7
Flies.
years, bro. Yeah, I've been doing comedy for 7 years, man.
Who's your OG? Who put you on?
Larry
Someone-
Lancaster.
Larry.
bro,
I
OG,
was
man.
gonna say Larry,
Come on, bro.
but I didn't know it was Larry.
I'm glad we
Shout
on
out
video,
Larry
man.
Land.
Shout out Larry Lancaster.
Shout out Larry.
So this what it was, right? So
That motherfucker funny,
So
fam.
I used to be a fly nigga, and I used to date all models, right, all the
Okay.
time. So not.
I'm about to say, all right, well.
Not all the time, but no. What? So look, I had a girlfriend, man,
All right.
and my girlfriend, she was a model. She's an amazing model, and she had a show, and I used to go to fashion shows, and this one was a little off away from like college and stuff. This was like some grown shit.
Mhm.
So Larry Lancaster was the host, and I had never seen a comedian before. I was always like the funny guy, one of the funny guys. I never seen a comedian before. So yo was doing this thing. And like I remember somebody tried to heckle, and I'm looking at Cho like I felt offended. That's how I knew I had the funny like fraternal thing, cause like somebody was trying to heckle him, and the way I was really packed, yo, I was like, why are you disrespecting that man? Like all the Baltimore came out me and everything, and and Larry did his thing, like he patted
Larry
him up,
gonna
like he
play.
talked about his mother, like it was crazy, like it was hilarious. So I had never forgot that. So fast forward like a year, maybe two. I break my neck. I go into depression. I watch a roast of Bob Saget. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna have my
Yeah,
neck
Comedy
release.
Central joints.
Hell yeah!
Right,
I'm
right,
like, yo,
right.
when I get my neck brace off, I'm gonna have a neck release party, like an album release party, and it's gonna be a comedy
Man,
show.
you said neck release
It was, yo,
party.
the neck release. It was
That's
lit.
gangsta.
So I was like,
That's
I need
funny
a
as
comic
shit.
to host it because I knew that I would get my friends to like be the roasters. So I was like, yo, who can I get to host it? Boom! I remember a comic I seen 2 years ago. Go on Google, reach out to Larry. His website was some old, like it was like some AOL. Like, it was bad.
Some old black
But by
player
the
and
way,
shit.
God work, bro. Like I reached out to him and he hit me up and told me like, yo, bro, I don't even check this for real. Like, and it just happened to whatever. So he came out, he did it, and that whole year I just told myself like, yo, I'm gonna do a show every year like Shaq All Star. Like I'm gonna just have a comedy show, but I never told anybody that I was like really writing for real. So that next year I told Larry like we was going to a show, and I was like, OG, yo, I'm thinking about doing comedy, but every time I think about it, I'm not supposed to do it because when I think about it, I get so nervous, I get lightheaded,
Right.
my throat
I feel
closes
you.
up. Like I was like, that's God telling me I'm not supposed to do this. And he was like, nigga, that happened to me every time I perform. Like, I've been
Wow,
doing that
ain't that
shit.
crazy to
He
hear
was
that
like,
from
bro, I've been
Larry?
doing this shit 16 years. Like it happened to me every time I perform. And I was like, for real? He was like, yeah. And I'm like, oh man, so that means I gotta do it. At least I gotta try, because now if I don't try,
You
my
never know.
OG is looking at me like, bro, you use a whole like, so I gotta
Use
do
a
it.
whole
So I
whore.
tried. So I went and tried it out, bro. And I've been doing it ever since.
How was it your first time?
The first time was it's so funny because once you like when people start comedy, I always tell them like, yo, just try to stay as close to yourself. Like don't leave yourself, because any things like that can challenge you to or tempt you rather, not challenge, tempt you to leave like your authenticity, right? And the way comedy works is like when you most yourself, like when you
Mhm.
most authentic.
Mhm.
So
Good point.
you'll find yourself like me at that roast. I had the mic. I was not nervous. I didn't care because in my mind I wasn't trying to be a comedian. I was
Mhm.
being Fred, right? So it was funny. It was cool. I'm packing everybody. Like everything was smooth. The next year, I got the mic and I'm telling myself now I'm doing a bit. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm doing the set. You know what I mean? And it was still funny. It was cool. But the way it felt, like the toll it took on me, two totally different worlds.
Mm.
So when I started, I found myself kind of like, even if I didn't want to, I just seen myself kind of in the beginning moving away from me, right?
Mm.
And I think other comics have had that happen as well, where they kind of go away from themselves and they gotta go through the process of like coming back to their truth and they self, you know. So you'll come back and you might have good stage presence because you've been doing the mic. You might, you know, have good like
Timing.
jokes,
Right.
like timing and stuff like that. But when you come back to like your authenticity and you learn like how to talk about like your true experience in that same skill set that you've been able to nurture, that's when you like got it for real. And I'm still in that process right now.
Yeah, I guess you never, if you listen to the greats like Chappelle or Chris Rock or Dave Attell, you know, it never stops. I think in
Yeah.
anything, if you're talking about fighting, sports, comedy, anything that you want to be the best at, there's no I'm the best in the States here. You're always leveling up. Someone's always a new innovator and they got a whole
Yeah.
different way of doing it. You're like, oh shit, I can do that now.
Yep. And that's one of the things with not just the youth program, but with the business as well. Like I don't know how many people have took advantage of what laughter can bring to just professional development and personal development. And that's the space that we building right now. So
That's
when
stupid.
you talk about like innovation, so like those born professional developments, people be falling asleep and you think you about to get fired because you can't help but to be on your phone and you know see who hitting you up. Like we,
It's
you
some
know, we
bullshit.
try
I mean,
to keep
4
your attention,
hours.
you know
Right,
what I'm saying?
right.
So we see so you can check us out on that tip too.
The best training I've ever had, especially in the corporate environment, is that when you have the instructor, it's a little funny.
Yeah,
the
man.
monotone drive, we're gonna go. It's like, God. You got a
Everything,
motherfucker like, hey, I only want to be here either. Anyway, let's go ahead and start this. You like, damn, okay.
Everything, even the pastor. I remember growing up, like anytime you ask a little kid, man, you can ask adults, like, what you like about your church, man. The pastor just be funny.
Real,
like,
yo,
they
real
don't say
funny.
nothing about the. No, I'm joking. But now so that's what it is, man. Like, you know, people love to laugh. Laughter is like an expression of joy, and laughter brings joy. So you know, people like to laugh.
Very important. Larry, a quick Larry Lancaster joke before we go to the next topic. Thank you again for being here today. I really appreciate you, brother. When I first met Larry, so my cousin Julie is his manager.
Julie, your cousin?
That's my cousin.
Man, that's my baby. Shout out to
go.
Julie,
That's
girl.
my
We
cousin.
gonna make sure you watch this. Julie is the one, man. That's like my unofficial manager. That's my baby.
Yeah,
Julie, we
yeah,
love
yeah.
you, girl.
Yeah, Julie invited us out, my mother, my father, my wife at the time, who was my girlfriend, to one of the events they had. Where the fuck was it at? I forgot where it was. Not the Hippodrome.
How long ago was it?
This was years ago. This might have been like 2013.
Okay.
And Larry was the host of the event, and he also had like a set in there or something like that. I
Okay.
guess that's maybe that comes with it if you host it. I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway, my mother likes alcohol. Remember, she liked crack. She don't like crack no more, but she still like alcohol.
Okay.
And she wouldn't shut up. She was one of those that's in that hate. And this is when
Ah.
"How You Doing" was real popular. Remember, right? With how that was the whole Wendy Williams shit. So she got her little first one off. Everybody laughing. Larry was cool.
Ha.
And then she kept doing the shit. And Larry, man, he was roasting. Who drunk bitch is this? Listen, I don't know Larry.
man.
I didn't even know Larry knew my cousin. I just knew he was. So he riding. It's funny as shit. But I remember being embarrassed, and I'm in the seat, and my father next to him, he roasting his ass. Get your bitch.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at him the same way you was talking about when you were watching him perform, and I'm like, yo, this motherfucker is funny.
Yeah, man.
And he's ruthless,
Yeah.
and I gotta know him and I wanna be around him. And since then, we built a relationship. You're a cool dude, so it was
what's
cool
up.
knowing that he was your OG.
Yeah, that's my OG, man.
And a lot of stuff he was telling me, he told you, and look at
Yeah.
you doing it now.
If it wasn't for Larry, man, I don't know. I don't know when I'd
He's
be
one of
doing
those.
it. So he's
Damn.
definitely one of those, man. He's best comic, you know, that I've seen, you know, in the DMV and really just around. Like, man, he the man, bro.
He's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah,
Like
bro.
a lot of times, if you know how if you from your city, people won't show you love from your city sometimes, right? You gotta.
Yeah.
If you think Baltimore, for whatever reason, isn't a hot market for comedians or stand-up comedy,
Mhm.
go see Larry.
Hell yeah. Go
And then you
go
go-
see a lot of us.
And a lot of them, I'm saying, we
Definitely
just talking
go
about
see
Larry right now.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
when you see Larry and then you think of Larry, you like, oh shit, he's good as the Kings of Comedy. Like you can put him in anybody's lineup
Yep.
and be like, oh, he's just as good.
And they know him. They know him. So like, on that tip, and that's just, it's different recipes to the way things happen and the way things pop, especially coming out the smaller blue collar cities. Like it's not a whole bunch of pipelines. So like everybody is gonna have some nuanced ass situation to how they got it.
Right.
And it might not always end up being like at the top position. So it's crazy because most of the comedians that I could think of, mainstream didn't know, or underground didn't know Monique, know Larry. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, and I might be wrong with that, but I really feel that way because he's the man too. It just winds up different ways. You get what I'm saying?
Go, right,
like and that's just what it is. Like you
the
got
game.
Somebody
Life.
like Jess. Like Jess is very well known and out there. She's fucking amazing. Like shout out to Jess.
Just
Permanently,
hilarious.
like
Yes,
always,
yes,
that's
yes.
my baby, that's my sis. And then you got
That's your real
somebody
sister?
like Young Cleese. No,
Okay,
I can't relate to everybody.
No, I was like, this motherfucker
Nah,
lady.
that's my
Okay.
baby. We all, we all started around the
Right,
same
right.
time, built around the same time, all the same clubs, and we all still talk to this day. But Cleese, like Cleon saying, Cleon is a dope comic, and luckily to other people are starting to learn more about him across the country. But there's a lot of heavy hitters in mainstream comics over the years that know him too. You know what I mean? And recognize him as a great comic, even if he might not have been hit mainstream yet.
Right,
you know what I mean? So it's just crazy how different things, fall and fall around. And I could say similar stories for all of us, for real.
Who was the worst set you've ever had doing stand up? I mean, when nobody laughed, they booed.
Nah, yo. So I used to be scared. I used to want to get booed so bad.
You was a wonder. You wanted to bomb.
Yeah, because what they said was just boo. Because you can get bombed and it boo or not boo. It's a
Oh shit!
it's a boo bomb and a not boo bomb.
It's a boo bomb and not boo bomb. Okay.
You always want the boo bomb. If you ask me. So I've never got the boo bomb. Right?
Oh, so the non-boo bomb, everybody just quiet.
Oh, yo,
crickets.
that's the worst. Like, I'd rather somebody boo me.
Yeah.
Because if somebody boo, like,
You
shit,
can roast
maybe
them
I can
back,
work
man.
with that.
Yeah,
I don't know, but that silence. See, the boo is like, the boo
That
is.
boo bomb. I like that
The boo
shit.
is like, yo, you doing something to me, but I don't like it. You know what I mean? But it's still an acknowledgement of something is going on here. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, and
I'm
I'm
here.
willing to put some energy out here to the situation. The silence
It's just indifference.
is what are you doing up there right now?
Period. Nigga, what the
This
fuck is you doing?
wrong. I have a personal issue with this, and yo, that silence ain't good, bro. So I had a silence.
I ain't
once,
never think of it like that. Boo bomb or not boo bomb.
Yeah, you always want
like
the
that.
boo bomb. Yeah, because they willing to,
Have you worked on that? Is this part of your set? Boo bomb?
No.
That's funny
wish,
as shit. I like
wish
that.
I couldn't even tell you this with conviction. Like I wish all this was hypothetical, but I definitely got the non boo bomb. When was my non boo bomb? I can't think of it. I forced it out my mind. Like it probably was just something I never forgot. But I worked
can't
on
remember
that for
this.
a while. I was like, shit, every day, like you gotta get up out of this. Yeah, but the non boo bomb ain't good.
That
bro.
non-boo
It's
bomb.
not, bro. It's not. And I done seen it happen to people too, but I was
It's
trying real
uncomfortable.
hard to go get my own. Like, you're
Right.
gonna remember other niggas.
Right. Nigga, last summer.
Yeah, yo, I remember. Yeah,
Right,
so
right.
I done seen some non-boo bombs go bad. Yep.
So you got your boo bomb.
I never got a boo bomb.
You got a
I got a
non-boo
non-boo
bomb. So
bomb,
how was
yeah.
it to rebuild? Because it's always easy to do shit when it's easy, and then you like, oh shit.
Yo, the non.
Was it a rethinking
Anytime
thing?
you bomb, like so. When you're a comic and you're just any artist, shout out to every artist. Every artist is a perfectionist, right? Well, most artists are perfectionists, and but I say every artist is their own worst enemy, though. And you can beat yourself up like that. So for a comic, bombing isn't always like not getting any laughs or getting boosts. I mean, you could, feel like you should have hit hard on the joke or missed the close or something, and you might consider that a bomb. Or, you could have laughs, but it might not be up to the potential that you saw out for yourself. So you consider that a bomb. So the rebuild is so good because anytime it's any type of energy like that, it opens the door for your own worst enemy to walk in, like, which is yourself. So that's why I like that perseverance is so dope. Like, I liken it to a quarterback. Like you throw an interception. you threw that shit. Like, you threw a pick. Like, that's real. Like, damn. You know what I mean? And sometimes that can have like a horrible outcome on the game, you know, at the moment. But now you gotta understand, I bet, like, time constant. What's up? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's one of the hardest moments I think you probably gotta come to. Like, all right, it ain't even no pat on the back. Like, nah, I threw that pick. You feel
That's
me?
what it is.
But I'm still the quarterback. I'm still ready to go back out the next drive, and we still gotta win, and I still gotta play.
Right.
And it's a chance I could throw another one.
Right. I gotta erase that, but also be aware it could happen
This
again.
could be when the first pick you throw as a quarterback, yo, you thinking two things, right? I'm not saying you are, but I'm thinking, all right, first quarter, this could be a 5-pick game. Like, damn, I just threw interception first quarter. I could throw 4 more.
Easy.
It's a whole nother 40 minutes to go. Or this could be a 4-touchdown, 1 interception game. Whatever I do right now was how this shit ready end up. And that perseverance is crazy, bro. So I would liken it to that for comics. It's like, all right, bet. Especially on situations where you might have multiple shows in one night.
Right. You gotta be able to erase that shit.
Yeah, I had that early. Like, I was lucky to I was on the way to a job interview, like my second, maybe third year doing comedy on a bus, and God told me to get out the bus and go knock on the door at the Comedy Factory. I love being able to say God told me to do stuff. Because when people say stuff like that when I was younger and I would hear interviews, I always have a little issue
Bullshit,
with it.
yeah.
Like, come on, shorty. But I love being able to say that, bro, because it's the truth. Like, God was like, yo, get out the bus, go to the Comedy Factory, knock on the door. Went and knocked on the door. Black guy came down there when it was at the power plant. He was like, "Yo, it's crazy." I told him, I said, "Yo, I just wanted to know if hiring." He was like, "Yo, it's crazy. I only been working here 2 weeks, but I'm the only black face in here, and I would love to give you an opportunity, to come in the interview." So I interviewed the next week, and they put me on, and I still didn't come in there telling them I was a comic and shit. I came in there and I worked, hard, but because I was in the space, sooner or later I started doing shows.
That's smart.
So when I was doing shows early on, I would have those opportunities to do like multiple shows in one night, and that's when I really had to apply that, like being a young comic, different crowds. Like, I barely know how to talk to people that ain't young niggas, you know what I mean? So imagine talking to older white people. Like, I'm out there, some of them rooms had all the Dundalk and Dundalk mother in front of me, and I don't know what to say, like, you know what I mean? So some of those shows was the type, it was like, all right, bet what you got 9:30, and it was such a blessing, man, to be able to early on be able to learn how to wipe that off and come back and take something that might didn't hit and learn to leave it, or take something and add to it to make it better, like all that type of stuff.
That's a crazy reset. It's perfect segue, because I was going to ask you that. Being a black man, a black comedian, right? Not the lower hanging fruit, but it's you have certain life lessons that you can express easier to people who look like you, went through the same thing. But if you, I assume if you really want to be the best at anything, you want to be able to do it for almost any situation, anyone. And in comedy, sometimes you could cater to just a certain type of crowd or niche, or you gotta be able to to be in front of different rooms where it's white people, Asian people, tourists, American, whatever. You did give me some background, like where you kind of cultivated and learned that. But how hard was it to be like, damn, I can't just be like, what's up, shorty, with the whores? I gotta be able to talk to this person who has no understanding of my life and culture and make what I know easy for them to digest and funny.
Yeah, I think you constantly learn it. You constantly learn it because
on and off the stage, I guess.
Yeah, on and off the stage. Well put, on and off the stage, because you really hone in and nurture your craft when you do it. And no matter how bad you want to, be better, diverse, or more universal. It's like if I want to be a clean comic, but I while I'm doing sets consistently cussing. It's damn near impossible. Like, why would you make it that hard on yourself? Like, you saying you want to be clean, but you not performing clean. Like, how does that? So same thing. Like, even all of us want to be more diverse and universal, but if as we are consistently performing in front of like certain crowds, as long as we commit to dishing out a certain type of content to that crowd, it's going to be harder to be more universal. So like it's kind of like open mics, right? Like, that's where we get good. That's like our gym. So we'll go to open mics and that's where we work out. But sometimes, especially in black rooms, right, we got the ego and, the pride. And even if we don't got the ego, that validation thing that we was talking about that never left us when we was kids, getting bullied. we see, you know, a whole bunch of people in there. We might see some nice looking women in there. You know, we might see a couple dudes in there that know us ain't been out in a while. People to be like, no, Instagram pictures. And we like, oh shit, I'm about to go up. So it's like, all right, do I go up and work on these new jokes?
Or the shit I already know.
Or do I go up and kill? So then you got open mics. There's some of the funniest joints in the world because everybody going up there with their HBO, you feel me? Or they, you know, they spend 5 minutes, they top 5. So that's just what it is. So that's just one of those, you know, complexities in the shit. Yeah.
That's dope, man. Yeah, it's a crazy thing because I like when you talk about some of these Comedy Central roasts, right? Some of the like the Bob Saget one was funny as shit.
That's the one. Did I say that?
Yeah, I think you were talking about. We
I
talking
don't
about
think
that
I
one.
said the roast of Bob Saget. I think I just said the roast.
That
So
was
you just went and got that's
that
the one.
man.
That's the one,
That
bro.
one, a lot of their joints is like, but then you realize, okay, it's different timing.
Right.
It's different topics.
Yep.
It ain't always motherfucker.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah,
got
yeah,
different
big time.
setups to hit it. So I appreciate comedy, but I also understand that how the world views me as a black man. So I'm like, well, damn, I like all types of comedy. I like the white style country shit. I like the fucking HBO Def Jam old school shit.
Right.
And how, if I were able to do it, how would I find that middle? Or do you never find that middle? Is it like, well, sometimes you just pick your lane. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
And is it unfair? Like, fuck, man, I want to do all the jokes.
Yeah, yo, nah.
I want to be Drake of comedy. Like, I want to be able to sing, rap. I want to break dance. I want, you know.
I hear what you're saying, and that aspect is something that as a student I'm still open to, and when I like listen to people and look to those that's, you know, in front of me and the OGs, I'm listening out for this because you have comics that have made a niche in like a target, you know, market or target audience for themselves. You got comics that have refrained from talking about certain content matter that you know they live through, and you could assume that they may care about,
Right.
because of the relevancy. But it's outside of what they've chosen as their lane. You know what I mean? Like Kevin Hart, Kevin Hart like is amazing, right? In a lot of ways. Right?
Oh yeah, of course,
yeah,
obviously.
just doing his thing,
Right.
man. And he the OG, and he the GOAT. You know what I mean? And he for a while, especially in his comedy, like in comedy doesn't, you know, talk about nothing, you know, nothing political, you know, nothing like that. So it's like you'll fear Kevin Hart for what he's probably able to do economically for people and in groups, and you start learning that for real because a lot of people will judge and they don't do their research. So that's one of those situations. But on the surface, Kev isn't, you know, people aren't fearing the institutions aren't fearing Kev. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the man, like it ain't that. You know what I mean? Not like
He's not fighting for
Right,
specific
right.
He ain't trying to. It's safe.
Right.
It's
Then you
safe.
got somebody like Corey Holcomb, right? Like Corey Holcomb is big, like side baby, abortion, like stuff that you like, huh? Like I done seen so many women walk out of Corey Holcomb shows, and partly I never would understand because I'm like, maybe I thought you'd have known. Like some of these women, I'm like, you seen him?
Yeah. What you coming to get?
Like what just going on? So some of them, you just walked out, she walked out.
Right.
But yeah, so then you got that. So it's so many different comics that have kind of created those lanes, and then you got other comics that really are just, you know, within their talent and their skill set, just take advantage of just telling their own story. Yeah,
It's a whole spectrum, I guess.
whole spectrum.
And it's never stagnant. Like you might be one way one day, then, like you said, God tell you, say, look, man, go knock on this new door, this new way of doing it, and then you just take it.
Absolutely.
Name some of your peers right now that's out there doing it like yourself that you admire. You seem like you got your OGs, but we rely
Yeah.
sometimes on our network of our people, right?
Right.
Name me some other comedians that I should be looking. And if you don't remember them all, it ain't no shade from you.
No, it ain't
But
no
some other
shade.
people that be like, yo, you need to check this dude out.
Yo,
check
man.
this chick out.
So all right, so I'm a Pisces, right? My birthday was last week, February 28th.
Oh man, happy belated, brother.
Thank you, brother. And
I
this
wish you
dude,
1,000
I'm
more.
gonna start with him because I walked into his birthday show, right?
Okay.
And he said the funniest thing about me I ever heard. And I walked in. He sold out his birthday show. He killed it, right? And I walked in, and he was like, "Yeah, Fred is like the nicest guy ever." But you know, when I first met him, I thought something might be wrong with him. I'm like, "What you mean?" He was like, "Yeah, we were on the phone, and you know, I was talking to him, and he said, "Oh, your birthday, the 24th, mine the 28th. You're a Pisces, I'm a Pisces. We gonna get along just fine." And he was like, the Fred bring up the Zodiac to me. Is Fred trying to get some pussy? So
Yo,
I
hit
just
you with
walked
the
into
pussy
this,
shit.
right? So I just walked in, and then he was just like, "Yo, Fred's so nice." I seen Fred walking a guy in a wheelchair up the street on his lap. I'm like, yo, like
On his
he
lap.
just kept packing. So Dave Butler, man, like Dave Butler is one of the funniest
okay,
comics in Baltimore and outside of Baltimore.
Zodiac shit.
Super funny dude, man, and he's locked in. He's real innovative too, bro, and he's just one of those guys that comedy is boom in your face, and you got slapstick, you got so many different genres of comedy, but his is really just nuanced. It might fuck around, go over your head sometimes.
I like those sometimes.
Like,
You gotta
he just
listen
dope, bro.
twice.
But the things about him is he has that go over your head, styled kind of dry humor.
Hedgeberg, what's the name of that Mitch dude? The white dude who's do like real weird. Mitch Hedgeberg, something like that. I think that was him. He had real awkward, eccentric comedy. Like I can't even think of any. But go ahead.
But I mean, so say him, but then put him in Park Heights and Garrison. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
Like,
All right,
so
you
that's
get it.
Dave
All right.
Butler. Like, so he got
Dave Butler.
that real astute
follow
type
you.
of style, what people would consider like the astute type of style, but
Okay.
with his content basically talking about what we go through.
I
you know
like
what I mean?
that.
So it's
like that.
it's crazy. Shoot.
Got any
you
ladies?
Johnny Boy. Sir Alex did Kevin Hart's Heart of the City represented
Okay.
Kevin Hart. So you talk about the ladies, Ty Davis, the same thing. That's my
Okay.
baby. She did
Okay.
the Kevin Hart Heart of the City. She hilarious. She just won
Dope,
the
dope.
Florida, I think one of the Florida comedy competitions, the Black Film Festival competition down there.
Oh, dope. Dope.
Yo, Baltimore is so dope, bro. I'm trying to tell you, like, and it's not even sooner than later. It's just when it happens. You know what I mean? Like, it's at any minute. We talking about that levee. Like, that levee can break at any moment for Baltimore, for just even the DMV, just as a collective when it comes to this comedy thing, man. You got trap comedy, the Young Boys, Bruce and Snow, Ben, they be doing their thing. Y'all could go on and on and on and on. Lil Cuz, Kyrie, Dragon Ball Z, Yo Black down the hill, big stomach. He be making people laugh and shit.
You got big stomach. You already got me.
You
already got me.
Man, it's so many comics, bro. Stiletto, that's my baby, his birthday twin, and some of these comics, man, I'm mentioning them because y'all may not hear of them or heard of them, but they like on that lane where they're getting booked throughout the coast. They moving around now, some of them, and they really just starting to make their name.
That's beautiful. Even more importantly, that you knew who they were and you ain't hit me with no Hollywood shit. That wasn't a test to you, but I like to see that shit. When I ask somebody, when I say, man, show me, and they did me with, man, they out here for real. I'm like, oh, so
Yeah.
you trying to, what do you, do you think you got control over them?
Man,
So when I saw you do that, and love, I said, okay, I see who I'm fucking with.
It gotta be love. I'm
see
gonna
who I'm
tell you,
fucking with.
and that's why Love's so cool, because Love puts you in a position to either admit some truth or like adapt some truth, right?
Amen.
So some of these people, I challenge niggas to some of these people that be Hollywood, quote unquote, really be wanting to show love, but they might have had situations where the love wasn't shown to them. You feel
And they
me?
discard,
Or they might
yeah.
have people in their corner like, yeah, yo, you showing too much love. You can't stop. They don't show you love. Like, it's so much out here that sometimes, you know how the teacher always used to be like, yo, well, just worry about yourself. Like, it's so much stuff out here, bro. If everybody could just lock in and say, all right, bet, I'm gonna take the commitment, the vulnerability, and the sacrifice to love, yo, and just trust the process of, what's right and wrong, and I know how to fight, and I'm strapped just in case. Like, like if
Don't
people
get it
could
twisted,
just-
ain't
if
all
people could
love.
Just
Yeah,
take
yeah,
the
yeah,
onus to just, just lead with love first. Yo, ain't nobody say you ain't no, like, you gotta be, you know what I mean? But it's kind of like when you look around on your utility belt, like, that's our last resort right now. You feel me?
Right.
So, yeah.
That's funny. We're almost done. For those who are watching, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure you follow this man. I'm gonna put his lower third up.
Yeah,
Make sure
y'all,
you please
excuse me.
follow
I've
him.
been hoarse, y'all.
No,
And
you-
this
I
been
ain't hear
such
that.
a real interview, man. It's cool. I've been talking a lot more about just I stay getting booked consistently, but just doing so much with this business and the youth program and the nonprofit. Yo, we've been just had that hat on a lot, man. Just and really just being in the city and the conditions of the city, like, that's really where it be at. So we bring laughter, but we bring a laughter through what we doing through healing, and just look forward to seeing a lot more Big Fred on these stages, man. It's going
We
down,
done.
shorty, all year.
We're almost done. I'm gonna ask you a few more questions.
Okay.
Child of God, you ever said a joke so messed up in your head or out your mouth that you like, okay, I know God gave me this gift, but is he a little mad at me because what I'm thinking or what I'm about to say was some
Man,
shit?
that's me all the time.
All right. I ain't the only one because I'm like, man, saying?
Yeah, that's me
If
all
you
the time.
gave it to me, why you made me? God forgive me, but I ain't know.
Well, I did a
But I had
church
to
show
get it
once that
off.
said something about, just being faded or get. No, I said something about giving a girl a shot and me praying that she ain't know that it was water in it and or it was more ice than alcohol.
Okay.
And she started stumbling and I was like, won't he do it? You feel me? Like, but and I looked. I'm like, God got a sense of humor and his life, bro. God in the club. Bro.
It's real.
And
He
that
in there
really be
saving
prayers.
folks.
Like prayers ain't always like this.
Yes.
Like prayers is like, y'all hope Shorty give me a number. So, I don't know, bro. I don't know for what it's worth, but you got own up to it, bro.
Yeah, I always thought about that, and my wife sometimes I'll say shit. I'm like, man, I shouldn't have said that, and then I think to myself, well, man, he gave it to me, but did he give it to me? I don't know.
He gave it to you. That don't mean he wants you to use
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
So
I dig
great
it.
power, great responsibility. Yo, the Bible got so many quotes. Why I go to Spider-Man? I could have
It's
got.
easy though. It's easy.
I
It's relatable for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Regardless of who they worship.
shout
You
me
know,
out.
and then it also go ties right back into your foundation.
There we go.
All right, so we covered Lil Labs, OSI Baltimore.
Okay, you went and got that.
Do-
Oh, it's on my bio.
Yeah. We got that.
Man.
Yeah. So did we touch on that at all?
Open Society Institute. Shout out to Open Society
Okay.
Institute. Open Society is a global organization led by George Soros, the man. In I guess in whatever ways he's the man. In amazing ways at that because
Right.
he signs the checks and everything. George Soros. So every year, OSI Baltimore selects 10 community fellows out of maybe hundreds and hundreds that apply, and they endow them with enough, just support financially and just institutionally to leave their job and work full time on building their own nonprofit.
And you were the 2018.
2018. Yeah,
That's
so
gangster.
for a little laugh. So I was able to, quit my job, like when Chappelle won the lottery on Chappelle's show, and then I was, since then I've been, having this executive director hat for Little Laughs, and we've been, just going through that.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Thank God. Man. It's crazy.
Comedy hype.
Comedy Hype. Yo, shout out to Comedy Hype. Comedy Hype is a publication out of Atlanta, formerly like the Laughing Barrel.
Okay.
Comedy Hype is dope. Y'all can check out comedyhype.com. Whole bunch of comedy content. It's really like the underground, really like the ESPN, the underground comedy for real. Like the interviews, updates. Lately they've been doing like different rollouts where they have different comics come and kind of do like kind of behind the music type joints. You know what I mean? Kind of like on in light of similar to maybe some Vlad TV interviews.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I hope ain't nobody mad about that, but it looks similar, So yeah,
They gonna be
but
mad
it's the
regardless.
comedy aspect, and that's what I'm saying. Like
That's
nobody should be mad. So yeah, it's dope.
Lil Labs. Stand-up comedy is what helps fuel Lil Labs, right? But if it became so much to the point where it's booming and it's taking over and time allocation being what it is, you can't do both. Would you be satisfied with, okay, I can't get on the road and maybe do as much stand-up comedy, but I'm in every board room and I'm helping them, implement our ways of teaching this using comedy, or I'm in schools all across the East Coast or the country, or I'm over in Africa.
Yeah.
Is it like, no, I really want to do stand-up and I want to be the Chappelle, the Kevin Hart,
Right.
or if you had to pick one or the other, which one could you pick?
Yeah.
Obviously, you would want both, but if you had to pick one or the other, which one could you?
Nah, that's amazing. I can't lie. It would be the first. It'd be the first because so comedy, the ability to perform stand up comedy is an outlet. It's a talent. I love it. It's healing for me.
Right.
It's healing for other people. When we are moving in this space of still even using comedy and laughter, but empowering like kids and community and people, and then you even bless me even going global, Africa.
Yeah.
Nah, man, that's what it is.
It's already there.
I would love.
No, it's
I would
already there.
love-
It's just
yeah.
it just hasn't connected. You
Yeah,
said
yeah.
Baltimore to Levy, right?
Yeah.
It's already there.
So when
It's
you
just
ask that
timing.
question, bro, that would be the answer, and I'm glad we got that here, and it's probably heard first on here. So this is someone that is only alive because of good people in community programming, and I always say good people because it's especially in Baltimore, a lot of community programs, grants, all that stuff is really can exploit communities and
They
people
can.
and stuff. So
They can.
I mean, good. I'm here because of good people in community programming that looked out, and just good people that in the neighborhoods that I grew up in. So, going into being blessed to do comedy and do an art form and have some early success to bring it back and to be able to have a success on the nonprofit tip is just actually have an impact. Like that's an amazing story that is just one of the millions, one of the many that come out of Baltimore. So I'm just blessed to be one.
Brother, we blessed to have you on. I say this with every guest, on and off camera. In any way, I can use this platform to help push, especially the positive shit you're doing, right?
Thank you, bro.
Which you're obviously doing that, because I wouldn't have you here if I didn't feel like you're affecting people for the better.
Straight up.
There's plenty of funny motherfuckers out here.
Yeah.
But when I saw what you was doing, and I'm like, damn, he's not just doing it for himself, but I was that kid at one time, not suicidal, but like, fuck, why is my life so fucked up? I don't feel like laughing, and someone in my life helped me get through it, or helped me recognize that I could use my gifts to even alleviate my own shit that I was going through. And if it's a fly I can push, if it's where I can pull up and support, yeah, it's never my shit versus your shit. You just let me know. Hey, fam, I got something. Come on, go ahead and share that with your people. That's how we rock over here. Anytime you want to come back on, we will ask you to come back on. But anytime you want to come back on, you let me know, and that's just
coming,
what it is.
Man. We coming, bro.
My God.
So we here, man. I appreciate what you do, bro. I appreciate what you're doing for the city. I appreciate just the platform you setting up, man. And time is constant, shorty. So we just gonna see more as time moves forward. Y'all follow Big Fred Comedy. He already got
the lower third up there.
God. All right, so y'all follow Big Fred Comedy, BigFredComedy.com. Little Laughs, y'all. It's an anti-bullying confidence enrichment program for the youth. We do teacher comedy workshops where it comes to your professional developments. Do comedy. It's not just entertaining, but it's informative. We talk about using laughter just for just enhancement of things. So whether that's morale for your team, whether that's productivity, making money, anything you want to enhance, we use laughter in a way where we can help, just put that out there, those methods out there.
Dope.
All right.
Dope. Catch us every week. We're going to have some more dope people from the city and beyond. I ain't going to curse because we were talking about kids earlier.
Yeah.
But I was going to sign out. I was going to sign out on y'all answers. But we appreciate you. Love y'all. We see y'all soon. Yeah. Big Fred in this bitch.
We started.
Yeah.